Hey, happy Sunday. Welcome to Health Strip. My plan is to spend some time reading and talking and thinking and sharing information about what I find to be the things that make life more fun, more worthwhile, what gives us more energy, makes us live life to the fullest. And I guess when I think about it, we can break those things down into a couple of broad categories. So when we think about health and vitality, a big part of it is how we fuel our bodies. This amazing machine that we are all blessed with, how we fuel it. So that's diet. Now, the word diet has got a whole heap of weight attached to it. But I want to throw all of that stigma aside and really start to look into the differences in how these heals affect our body and hopefully get a better understanding myself about how the intricacies of the macro and micronutrient can actually change the functionality of the cells and neurotransmitters within our body. So that's pretty exciting. So we're going to go from really basic, easy bread and butter stuff all the way through to nerd mode, which is totally my cup of tea. The next big category that I'm going to want to talk about is exercise. Again, another very loaded word. When I'm speaking to my patients, I usually use the term movement as opposed to exercise. And the reason I started doing that maybe 10, 15 years ago, not with everyone, but with a lot of the patients I certainly see, is because there's a lot less waiting to it. People don't get their back up straight away, my experience, and it is a much more generalized and, I'll be honest, a much more important thing to be thinking about. What I mean by that is the data is becoming quite apparently clear that the amount, let's for example say someone goes off and does like a spin class on a Saturday morning and they kill themselves for 45 minutes. But then the rest of the week, all they do is sit around. Another alternative person, they don't go to the gym or do anything like that, but they go out for a walk every morning, 7 days a week. Which one do you think is exercising or more healthy? Look, I know what I think. We still out a little bit, but that's one of the things I'm going to talk about. Then the third piece is something that I personally struggled with for many, many years is sleep. There's a whole heap to it. The science, sleep, how we sleep, I mean, the importance of sleep, that is pretty clear. My idea as a young person that, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Foolish. But hey, we live and learn, don't we? The next one is managing stress. So this is a really big one. It's really difficult to maintain optimum physical and certainly mental health when you're under a lot of stress. Now, some of the things that are stresses in our lives are things that we actually have very little control over, but some of that we do. And stopping to really think about where the stresses in your life fall in terms of those two categories is super important. So we're going to delve into that a little bit. Fifth one, of course, is around avoiding toxins. This is one that actually starts to stand into where my expertise, if you want to call it that, is. So I've trained over many, many years through multiple universities Australia-wide, in bachelor's, master's, graduate diploma programs, etc., in many different aspects of medicine, health, nutrition, pharmacology. That's probably my main specialty area. Natural medicines, exercise science, nutritional science. Anyway, you name it. I've had a bit of a red hot go at it. One of the things that does come up, I guess, in my area of expertise, and I've talked about this many times in lectures, is this idea of toxins. Now, in my context, I'm usually talking about it in the terms of toxins that we might inadvertently be getting from supplements, from somewhat dubious sources. And I really want to talk in detail around supplements, which is things to watch out for a lot, because it's an area that I'm super interested in. But absolutely, people can be exposed to lots of toxins. Where we live is it's pretty good. The air is clean, the water is clean. Not everyone is so lucky. I've certainly lived in many parts of the world where having a buff at the very least over your nose and mouth when you're riding your bike around, or even a mask, is a really smart idea. Toxins can come in foods that we eat. That's another really big one. So processed foods, trans fats, that whole kettle of fish we can talk about another time. And of course, when we start talking about minimizing toxins, my mind always goes to, and sorry, it's just going to sound a bit like woo-woo, but don't mind a bit of woo-woo. The toxins that we let into our space in terms of the bad energies. I had a bit of that yesterday myself, just from one kind of email I received that I was, a bit annoyed about, I'll be honest, and felt like someone had been taking advantage. Anywho, the way that I let that affect me actually, much as I want to blame this external party in this external situation, it's actually got everything to do with me and very little to do with them. So took me a little bit of time, and I did let it ruin my night. Well, not ruin it, but certainly change it. And I kept that negative energy around me for way longer than I should have. And you know what? That's stupid. I know better than that. And that is something that I can control, and I will not be doing that anymore. Anyway, so on that note, I think it's almost time to have a little swim. And going to start planning what to talk about next.